Welcome everyone. Bada bing baby, Maté talk time. Hope everybody is doing exceptionally well across the world. And let's begin. So first off, hope you have a great drink for yourself. Mine is my mate. I recommend that you grab yourself a drink and enjoy this moment as we talk about niche perfumery and other things, great things in life, basically. Announcements at the end of this review when it comes to the fragrances will be on the SORA DORA Discovery Series, chance to win a free bottle anywhere in the world. Secondly, encourage you guys to become subscribers and also members of the channel. There's a promotion coming up and I'll tell you more about that. And last of all, Thursday, the 3rd of July, I've asked everybody here in Melbourne, save the date. Why? I'll reveal more. Okay, so I've been testing, so at the end of all this, I'll tell you more. As you know, Noah, one of the retailers here in Melbourne, have taken on board the full collection of all things zoologist. So as a result, I'm deep diving with all things these guys, and I've been testing this week Dodo for those, and this is the one with the jackfruit special. I don't know zoologists in great detail, so I don't know whether there was a non-jackfruit special, but anyway, this is the jackfruit one. I would love, if anyone who has this or experienced this, I would love for you to write your comments and tell me what you think. So even pause this video right now and just write down, before you hear what I have to say about it, I want you to write those comments and send it across to me, because this is weird. This is like, what in the world were they thinking? But it's wonderful, and I love it. I really, so last time around I talked about how I was reviewing Cow, and I'm like, it's okay. It's, you know, it didn't, not necessarily that it didn't wow me, because it was a beautiful fragrance, a beautiful scent, but it didn't take me on a journey. It didn't excite me, you know? And I also realized that maybe the weather was wrong for Cow. It was too cold, more of a spring-like fragrance. This one here, I honestly feel it can be anywhere, anytime. I've been wearing it I wore it yesterday, super cold, very chilly sort of weather. It was awesome. But again, it's weird. All right, so when it opens, and for those who, I haven't looked at notes, by the way, so I am throwing darts with my blindfold on and hoping that I don't hurt somebody with it. But I'm throwing these darts and just thinking, this is what I'm getting from the actual fragrance. So I think it expresses itself really well when it comes to the creature. The dodo became extinct. If I'm not mistaken, it was in a sort of tropical location. I don't know exactly where in the world the dodo bird was there. And it's a wonderful expression or interpretation of what this animal would represent. What would it be? So the first thing that I get from it is this unusual profile, and I think it fits perfectly with that construct of the dodo. So it's super unusual on the opening. It throws me off. It has this, or to my nose, it has an exaggerated aromatic lavender scent profile to it. And what I mean by that, sometimes you get lavender in a range of fragrances, and they're aromatic and masculine leaning and barbershop and blah blah. But lavender is a lot more complex and sometimes expressed in perfumery. I have a beehive next to my beehive, and I planted it there on purpose, is a massive lavender bush. Would it be a bush plant? Massive, it's huge. And I have to prune it just to control it a bit, and also it's good for the actual plant. And when I'm in there, there's a mixture of, as I'm pruning this plant, I get a mixture of the very robust lavender scent to the point of being slightly heady, not offensive, but very pronounced. And then it's mixed in with some green and some earthy and some herbal notes. It's actually quite complex. In nature, the plant is actually quite complex. And this is what I get here. I get this really robust, and this is the first thing I thought of was my beehive in this location, really robust. But then it spins me in a different direction pretty quickly with this overripe banana-like smell. And I put down an overripe fruit, and then as I was trying, because obviously what did I say the fruit was? Jackfruit? Or did I say something? Anyway, jackfruit is this one here. So I have tasted jackfruit before. It is a very overripe fruit sensation, so it has a very rich, very deep sort of flavor profile to it. The best way that I can describe it, in something that we're all familiar with, is an overripe banana. You know, that very exaggerated scent profile and I'm talking overripe, where it's black, you peel it, and it's kind of bleh on the inside. I hate this. By the way, I hate the smell of that. It's too much. It's over the top for me. But that's what I get. So I get this mixture on the opening with this lavender and, you know, just and somewhat inviting and aromatic with this overripe fruit profile that I'm like, ugh, it's disconcerting. Sandra, because my wife is very expressive, for those who know, instantly said to me, "That's yuck." When she smelled, it's like, "Oh, that's yuck." So it does have this unusual sort of scent profile to it. However, as it begins to dry down, what I'm getting, and this is where I am right now, is this very divine floral. What did I write? I wrote, it has a floral but fruity tinge to it with this ambery warmth to it. And just like as exotic as the Dodo and unique and unusual, I'm thinking that they have some unique and unusual florals in here. Again, I don't know, with a blindfold, I'm throwing darts, but I'm putting it down to I'm wondering, does it have like an ylang-ylang, a champaca, a magnolia, things that are a little bit more complex, a little bit more, not a rose, not a jasmine, you know, stuff that is a lot more common. Something's a little bit more harder to find and harder to obtain. But it's really impressive. And again, here, I'm going, as I inhaled, I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." And then I'm like, "Oh, that's a bit yucky. That's a bit unusual." There's another sort of scent profile to it. But that's what I like. I like fragrances that not necessarily, I mean, yes, of course, we want a beautiful fragrance that captures us instantly and go, "Wow, that's gorgeous." And then others that sort of take us more on a journey. And so far, I wrote here, "This is a wild ride and I love it." That was my exact comment. So if you do have Dodo, jackfruit edition, I'd love to hear your thoughts and see how it plays out. Is it a warm fragrance, a warm weather fragrance? I'm thinking it is because of the aromatics and the lavender in there, but that unusual overripe scent profile, I wonder if it plays well. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts. Now, that's it. So I'm testing, I'm exploring more with all things zoologist. Let's talk about fragrances when it comes to location. So this is the lineup that I have today. One thing that I love doing, and I think for those who are familiar with the channel know this of me already, travel, food, fragrance. For me, that's the trifecta of all happiness. Travel, food, fragrance. I mean, to give you an idea of how much I love this as a concept, I've even created a number of episodes, and we've actually called them Travel, Food, Fragrance. There's a whole playlist here. So if you love to travel, you love beautiful things, and you love nice food and perfume, have a look at these episodes. They're a lot of fun to watch. So one thing that I love doing is whenever I find a fragrance house that loves to represent a location and give it an olfactory profile. So whether it's the creative directors who is involved in the actual perfume house, or it's actually the perfumer who is in a location and is thinking, you know, for me, this place should smell like bop. I love that sort of stuff for two reasons. One, if I spray it and smell and go, heck yeah, this is exactly my memory of that location, and I'm going to show you 5 fragrances, actually 4 fragrances that fit that bill. Or it could be a place that I've never been. And I think to myself, I wonder what its scent profile would be. And that's the other reason why I'd like to explore and go, oh wow, so I love this interpretation, I love this take, knowing that one day when I go there, that will it be this thing? Now, this is not, so just so to put it into, and there's one, the first one I'm going to talk about is Tokyo. I've read some comments that this doesn't smell like Tokyo. All of these are interpretation. This is not, someone didn't faithfully, I don't know, extract molecules from the air in those locations and try to reproduce it. This is now an interpretation, an artistic interpretation of what this place should smell like. All right. So let me begin with a place in the world that is equal part exotic, but exotic, unique, yet, I was going to say, because, okay, being in Australia, we're very fortunate to have Asia very close to us. And so you'll find that a lot of Australians have visited Asia multiple times. I know that for the European continent and also the US, Asia and the South Pacific is very exotic to us. It's in our backyard. And so we're very, very comfortable and very familiar with it. We've been there often as Aussies. Now, some Asian cities, big Asian cities, have a very funky, unique smell. And I think there's multiple reasons for that. One is that it's very hot and humid, and so things rot quickly, and so that there's that scent profile in the air. And secondly, there is exotic fruit like durian, for instance, that permeates the air. You can smell that, and you're like, my gosh. All right, but here's an Asian city that defies all that. It is clean. It is crisp. The air is crisp. There is not a metallic smell to it, but there's something that is metallic. It has a very clean, sort of sharp smell to it. Aquatic, perhaps, if you want sea salt, maybe, but it has this beautiful scent profile. I'm giving you a big warm-up, Tokyo. The brand is called Gallivant, and I love these guys because their whole collection is interpretations of cities. And the creative director behind it, he is always looking at how does he interpret a particular place? I love Tokyo. For me, is this Tokyo? And this is the one where I've read, it's not Tokyo. It's pretty faithful to my memory of Tokyo. When I was there, it was in spring. The air was crisp and cool. We stayed in Tokyo itself, so you get these beautiful skyscrapers, metallic. We actually were staying in a hotel that looked more like an office building, so it didn't look like a hotel, and its exterior, here's the photo, was this very dark steel, very metallic looking structure. We were in a very office area, like a financial district. This, for me, is my Tokyo. Crisp and aromatic and sharp and spicy, other scent profiles. When it opens, it does have these spicy aromatic scent notes to it, things like cardamom. There is a wasabi note. I don't detect the distinct wasabi scent profile. Truthfully, I don't think I could actually isolate and go, here it is. What I get is the spicy, the sharpness, this herbal-like element to it. It does also have yuzu in its opening, so it's a citrus, but it's not so sunshine, bright Italian style. Then as it begins to dry down, it goes into those classic, I guess, more Japanese notes. The cedar wood, I think there's another, like a tatami, I think, I'll put it all here. It does have like a hay-like tatami matte quality on the dry down, but you never lose that aromatic, spicy quality from the fragrance. Awesome fragrance for, I mean, I'm wearing it today. It is a mildly cool day here in Melbourne, and it's working fantastic, beautiful in the air. But it is a really good summer fragrance. If you like things like Gentle Fluidity Silver, if you like things like Tagore by Fuea, they use these beautiful herbal notes, the coriander seed, and this bright aromatic sharpness. And I find that Tokyo does exactly. It's in that same sort of vein. The difference is that when it dries down, it does go a little bit more cedar-like, a bit more woody. It has a bit more gravitas rather than staying aromatic and bright. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It's bada bing, a beautiful interpretation of Tokyo, and one that I resonate with, one that I would recommend. If you're in a Northern Hemisphere, works well here in Australia at the moment, but Northern Hemisphere will work better. Boom. The next one. My heater is on. It is stinking hot in here. I'm going to stop for a minute because I feel like I'm about to melt. And back again. It's a cool day today. We had the heater on and nice and warm in here, but I'm guessing that as I'm speaking to you now, my body's heating up and I'm just cooking. Anyway, next one. Renaissance. Now, this does not name the place, but when you think of Renaissance, or forget the fragrance, just think of Renaissance as a whole. The first thing, for me at least, comes to mind is Florence. That was the birthplace of the Renaissance, of the modern day Renaissance. And yeah, so I think of, yeah, if I say Renaissance, I instantly think of Florence. This fragrance here, in celebration of Italy as a whole, for those who might not be aware of it. It's part of a 3-part series, and here, even though it doesn't say where the fragrance is from, but as I mentioned, the fact that it's naming it as Renaissance, the fact that it has a very citrus, green, herbal, woody sort of construct, it is about celebrating the birth or the rebirth of perfumery, modern day perfumery within Europe. If you want to know more about what does that even mean, Caterina de' Medici, the French king, all that sort of stuff, Santa Maria Novella, have a look at this particular episode. I won't go into too much more detail, but have a look at this episode. I expound a lot more in that, and the reason why I dubbed this as a Florentine fragrance. Now, that aside, is this Florence? My answer is yes, and that is because just as a small tease, there's a brand called Santa Maria Novella. I was in Florence, discovered that the monks from the Santa Maria Novella chapel were creating fragrances, and they're also creating herbal extracts and things like that for the skin and all the rest of it. Caterina de' Medici was assigned to marry one of the French kings, and she asked him, can you create something? She asked the monks, can you create something that will remind me of my beautiful Italy? And they came out with a fragrance which is now called Acqua della Regina. When I first bought it, it was just called Santa Maria Novella. And that is a beautiful celebration of Italian citruses, of a herbal garden, of these beautiful vetivers and earthiness. That became almost a construct. So if you think of, I always forget the numbers, 1711, this thing here. A lot of these sort of style of fragrances, if you link them back, I know that some of them might link back to Cologne and Germany, but the guy who created Farina, he was an Italian. So it gives you an idea how it all sort of blends itself or ties itself back to Italy and this memory of what Italy is to these individuals. Renaissance. If you're looking for a really good citrus fragrance, if you're looking for a fragrance that has longevity and will create some presence, that has nice sillage and these particular elements, if you want a fragrance, a beautiful citrus fragrance that will not only shine just gloriously in a northern hemisphere at the moment in summer and bright sunshine, but also work really well in a cool, cold environment like we are experiencing here, then Renaissance just ticks all these boxes. When it opens, it has this most amazing bouquet of citruses, and you're getting a collection of, obviously bergamot would be in there, but I'm getting like a lime, I'm getting lemon, I'm getting a touch of oranges. Everything feels drunk on sunshine. Everything feels exaggerated in colors. So take a photo of an orange tree or a lemon tree, and now just amp up that saturation. Everything has this richness and boldness to it. This is what this fragrance is on that first opening. It instantly, well for me at least, it ensnares me in pure happiness and joy. As you can tell, I really love this fragrance. This is a glorious fragrance to own. The great thing about this fragrance is, and as I mentioned, sometimes citrus fragrances they last for a while, but then, well, the citrus molecule is small, and then before you know it, boom, it's gone, and you have to reapply. I find that because it does have this additional notes of the petitgrain, also some mint, and I do believe there are some woodier notes in the base. Actually, boom, here it is. It creates this beautiful, it creates a beautiful a wave of how the fragrance emerges and moves, but it also creates this great longevity. Whenever I smell this, and I didn't put it on, if you can tell, I put it on card, didn't put it on skin because it'll just overpower everything else I've got. It won't allow, this is a great fragrance if you want to have something that really commands space. For me, this reminds me of summer, and I'm talking a really strong, sweating, bright, beautiful, hot summer that we get here in Melbourne. I work at the Australian Open, bada bing, have done so for like 20-something years, nearly 30 years. And when I first bought this, this was my Australian Open fragrance. I sprayed it before, and I could picture, and I did it again, I pictured myself walking from the precinct where all the courts are over to an area called the National Tennis Centre, the NTC. And I can see myself walking along this path, this heat, sweating, big long day, and yet this fragrance is still present and still giving me this beautiful aromatic, the touch of citrus in there, that green, that vibrance, it all exists here. And I hadn't sweated off, and this is deeper in the day. Gorgeous fragrance. I think you may realize that it's a massive recommendation. So I would, if you want a really good citrus and something that has the pieces that you would love in that citrus fragrance, then I would recommend to you Renaissance, and it will make you think of Florence if you've been there, and if you've never been there, it'll transport you to that location. Boom. Moving on. All right, so let me give you some vanillas. Now, there are 2 cities in the world that I adore. Mind you, I adore so many. Anyway, 2 cities in the world that I really love. Here's one. What is it? I can give you some random image so you make it hard for you. And here's the other. That first one was a bit harder, wasn't it? So, I love Rome. But in Rome, there's also a place called Trastevere. And I love Trastevere. Now, you would think, well, isn't that part of Rome? It's not. And don't ever, if you ever go to Trastevere, don't ever say, we're in Rome. You're not, you're in Trastevere. Just a heads up. So this is an ancient part of what Rome was. It's, Trastevere means across the river. It's a Latin word. And the Trastevererians, I think they have their own little name, it became their own areas. Truthfully, early in the Roman history, that was where a lot of the immigrants went. So the Romans and were on this side of the river, and on that side of the river were, the other nations that had come into that location. One thing that Trastevere became famous for was, and this is more, I think, in more modern times, became famous for its bakeries. And here, Pantheon Roma celebrated Trastevere by creating this fragrance which has this beautiful pastry-like bread touch, vanilla sort of beauty to it. It's really, really, really impressive. Now, if you love vanilla fragrances, I'm going to say you're going to adore this. Sometimes when you think of pastry, you instantly think of like a French style of like a croissant or, pain au chocolat, things like that. Okay, well, this is completely different. If anything, if I can compare it to something, it's more bread-like, and even further to it, for those who are familiar with palmeras. As an Argentinian, one thing that we love drinking or having alongside our mate are these palmeras. This is like for me, this is like a staple. It's part of my DNA. These palmeras have this wonderful, sweet, vanillic sort of taste to it, but they are very crispy bread-like, so they have this flakiness to it. They're just gorgeous. I mean, if you ever get a chance to have a palmera with a very bitter mate and no sugar in it, the two is like, it's a match made in heaven. So what Trastevere does is balance all these pieces together and creates a very clear picture of what this place should be like. And it celebrates the bakeries of this location. When it opens, this very bread-like quality does emerge, but it's intermingled with a level of that sweetness along with a touch of vanilla at that stage. There is a nuttiness in there. It was interesting, I was wearing it the other day, and my sister, who would have been a meter apart, well, less, because we were not far away from each other, and she said to me, wow, I can smell your fragrance. She's like, is that like a vanilla chocolate? Or I can smell like a gourmand chocolatey thing. So to her nose, there was and yes, I guess it could have a little bit of a chocolate touch. I feel that it is that balance of that bread and that nuttiness and that vanilla all sort of intermingled together. I'm wearing it as my fragrance of the day. Sorry, the mic is right there. If you love vanilla, please, I insist, check out Trastevere. It is just gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. What I love about this is the journey of it. Initially, when I first was experiencing it, I thought it might be a little bit on the linear side, and that is that bread and that sort of, and be careful, it's not bread, it's not white bread, okay? So it's not like this is a beautiful bakery. This is what it's trying to represent. But you get that bread-like quality, you get all these pieces. And I thought, oh yeah, this is started there and it's staying there. Wait till the dry down. And I'm talking like, say, 6 hours from now, and it goes into vanilla. It goes into this very gourmand vanilla touch to it. Those other nuttiness, that chocolate or that bread-like quality begins to sort of peel itself backwards, and then this vanilla just emerges. It's really divine. Gorgeous journey from start to finish, a fragrance that anybody can wear, masculine, feminine. I feel like the sillage on this baby is huge. It has massive projection. Okay, so it's not an amouage, so it won't fill a room, but it does have great, great presence, so people around you will be able to detect it. I put down here that this is an awesome date night fragrance. So on opening, it's a little bit, it does all these different dancing moves between that bread-like quality, that nuttiness, that chocolate, the vanilla, all these beautiful things. But then as your date, and hopefully the date is going well and it's drying down, it does settle into this very beautiful, creamy vanilla on your skin. It's just, yeah, really, really impressive. Boom. That was it. I think I said everything here. Yes. Boom. Okay. Another vanilla. Now, I got to give you, so it's called Paris CHERI. It's by ASTROPHIL and STELLA, an Italian brand. That is an Italian brand. Let me give you a timeline. Can you see how much has been left in there? It's a little bit, just slightly above the halfway, but very close to that halfway mark on this fragrance. Timeline is as follows. We were in Cannes, Sandra and I, we were in Cannes in October, 7 months ago. I was meeting with the ASTROPHIL and STELLA people. Sandra was with me. The reason why she was there is that within this room where ASTROPHIL and STELLA was also Mail for Shuni. If you missed the episode with Mail, here it is here. This is what we filmed in that space. The boys from ASTROPHIL and STELLA was also sharing the space. Anyway, two birds, one stone. Met with Mail, filmed, boom, and then met across with the ASTROPHIL and STELLA gents. We were talking, there's some plans there, so that hopefully we'll be able to create, I really want to create a discovery series with these guys, really love their fragrances. Bop, that's the tease you about this, the SORA DORA one coming up. At the end of it, the gentleman, being very kind and generous, said to Sandra, because Sandra was just basically just, you know, along for the ride in that particular meeting. And they said to her, would you like a fragrance? And Sandra's like, no, don't worry about it. And they said, no, we insist. And so they gifted her this Paris CHERI. Now, they didn't give her a choice. They didn't say, what do you like? What do you don't like? They just said, here, take this. This is one of our best sellers. We insist you have it, you know, as a little gift. Now, two things with Sandra. And for those who are familiar with the channel, one, she doesn't like vanilla. She's not, I mean, this is my Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, if you saw that last week's episode. She doesn't like vanilla. That's one. And two, what was the other one? Two, boom, 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 bing, bing, boom. Oh, and two, we have a generous collection of fragrances, and Sandra has a generous collection of fragrances also. And yet, this is a vanilla fragrance, and Sandra has gone hardcore on this thing. This is something that she has fallen in love with. When she when she read the notes, vanilla, she was like, I don't like vanilla, but she felt bad for the guys, and it was a gift, and yada, yada. Anyway, she wore it, and she's like, whoa, this is really nice. She has not stopped wearing this. This has become a huge a favorite, a fan favorite of Sandra within our house. Why? When I think of Paris, so let me smell it first. When I think of Paris, Paris does have a scent. And it's interesting because it's not just the scent of the city, it's the people in the city that create this scent profile. Everybody, and maybe I'm just being romantic about it, and maybe I'm just, because people who live there go, I don't know what you're talking about, but for me, as a tourist, and as I come into Paris, I always find that it's beautifully scented. Wherever I walk, there's beautiful perfume in the air. And I find that it's actually the people, the passers-by. I've even been, and this is, as Kevin is my witness, because I've been with Kevin as we were walking on our last tour, in mid-conversation, someone walks past, and I'm like, oh wow, I stop, I'm like, whoa, that perfume is amazing. And so the whole place is like this. I'm always detecting beautiful perfume in the air. It's always very subtle. It's nothing these massive sort of, and it's the sea ice. The person goes past and I'm like, whoa, this floral, this something beautiful and delicate and sophisticated that comes past. And I find that Paris Cherie embraces that beautifully. The second thing that happens in Paris, to my nose, is the boulangeries. I'm a sucker for sweet things and treats and the croissants and all that sort of stuff. And so you can smell that. I can smell these beautiful boulangeries even before I see them. And so this blends the perfume that's in the air with the vanilla touch that comes out of these boulangeries. I find that if I want to sort of grab it quickly, this is a feminine, powdery vanilla. That's how I would define it. And interestingly, because I love vanilla fragrances, I sprayed this, it does not work for me. It's not, and even now as I'm smelling it here, it's a very, to my view, it's a very feminine leaning vanilla. It has these very powdery, soft florals in there. The vanilla is not overt, it's actually quite subtle. And again, I go back, this is why I think Sandra likes the fragrance. It's not over the top vanilla, it's not this very gourmand vanilla. If anything, it is a very powdery. I put lipstick, I wrote down lipstick and then I scrubbed it off because lipstick sometimes gives you that makeup feel and that's not what I want. But, and I think as I define it further, for me, that lipstick sort of is that it's something that a woman would wear, essentially. And so it's that scent profile that I'm detecting, a much more feminine, gentle touch. Can a man wear it? Yes, absolutely. There's no reason why you can't. But it is a much softer vanilla. It is a much, I know that it does have heliotrope. Actually, if you look at the notes, there is a collection of notes. And I don't detect, I can't sort of pick out things as clearly as I can on some of the other fragrances. So there is all these beautiful notes, but I feel that all this really combines together to create this very just sublime, very floral, feminine, powdery vanilla fragrance, and a beautiful celebration of Paris, in my opinion. Yes, okay. Up, there it is. Cool. All right, the last one that I have, let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. Yes, I got a thing. It's funny because I wrote my notes and I actually went rogue on myself. The fact, anyway, I mixed everything around, but it's all right. Makes it more realistic. Next one, last one. I've never been here. Never been to Sweden. I've heard of it, obviously. I've read many things, the fjords, the woodlands, and all this sort of thing. And it's a place that I will go one day. I really, really want to explore this part of the world. This is, the house is PANA. They celebrate all things Sweden. And in this case here, Ibrahim, the wizard, has put forward his interpretation of the Swedish woods. And it's not what I anticipated it would be. I mean, I should have realized from the color of the juice, you know, this ambery, very deep, warm sort of look about it. When I think of Swedish woods in a very cliche way, I think of, you know, fir cones and pine needles and sort of bright and brisk air and all that sort of stuff. When you actually spray this for the first time, so the opening of it is quite alarming. It's a little bit like, it's arresting. It's like, whoa, what the heck? It captivates, it captures you really quickly. And it has this sense of like heaviness or darkness in there. There's also an animalic touch to it. So you can feel this woodland, but now you're going, I know there's a wolf in here. So I can smell some kind of animal. Is it a wolf or is it a deer? Is it friendly or is it going to be, you know, is it going to destroy me? It's actually pretty intense. So the Swedish woodlands of sunshine and, you know, little brook of water going by and things like that, that doesn't exist in this particular expression of it on that opening. Let me see what my time is. Yeah, I'm still good. So it's not the brightness and all the rest of it. That's in that opening. And you do get a tinge of animalic to the point where I thought maybe there was some kind of civet or something with a little bit of sass in that first part of it, some kind of musk in there that really sort of captures you. The reality is, when you look at the notes, it's green apple. You're like, what? Green apple, rosemary, and there's another, I think pink pepper, I think, something like that. Not what I get. I've always said this about the Panadoras. Put the notes away. Just, it's just, I don't know, because you're not, you look at that and then you experience, and it's a separate experience. It's two different things. What I do get as it then, so 10 minutes in, it settles in from that, the fear that there might be some sort of ravenous wolf around the corner. There's this, you know, really intense animalic profile to it. And it does come down to more of the woodlands. So that animalic eases off, and it's almost like the woodiness of the fragrance begins to emerge and push forward. And now I can get more of that cedar-like quality, the fir cones or the pine needles, as I mentioned. It's a beautiful, beautiful ride. It's never going to, and never does go to a place of bright, aromatic, you know, sort of sunshine. It always remains a very closed off Swedish woods. It's almost like it's now, you're into dusk and you know you're going to lose your light very soon. And it's that sort of heaviness about it. You're still there. You can feel the woodlands around you, but you also, I was going to say, you can also detect some level of, you got to get out of there because you're gonna end up spending a night in the dark, and it's not going to be very comfortable. If I compare the two, so take the Tokyo to start off with, which is now deep in the dry down, very much cedar-like. It retains those aromatic notes that you get at the start. It retains a little bit of that brightness, that the herbals. It's optimistic, whereas Swedish Woods is heavy. There is a slight level of sort of earthy dankness, you know, so a heavier moss sort of feel to it. And it does also have this tinge of animalic. I know that there is oud in the base of it too, so I think maybe that's also lending itself in there. But there is a seriousness to the fragrance. There's now, so where Tokyo is your going out for the day, having an awesome, bright, sunny, exuberant day in sunshine, Swedish Woods is now a deal maker. So if you need to go to a serious meeting, you need to suit up, or you need to just stay focused, then Swedish Woods would be the one that you would put on just to give you that reinforcement, that fortitude in your mind. I put here that the projection on this baby is gorgeous. Again, it's not a room filler, but it has very distinct presence. It really holds its own. I wore it probably 2 or 3 days ago as my fragrance of the day, and it's not one that you want to breathe in, but in the air. And Sandra from a distance was like, I like what you're wearing today. That is beautiful. So you're getting that that woodiness, that cedar-like quality, the more masculine sort of tinge to it is definitely present. Yesterday I wore it again in preparation for today. Kevin was, I was with Kevin. We were probably 1.5 meters, 2 meters apart. We're walking, and he all of a sudden says, "What are you wearing today, bro?" He's like, "It's really good." And when I mentioned Swedish wood, he's very familiar with the brand PANA DORA. He's the man that put me onto it. He's like, "Oh, it makes sense." So obviously it was something was tickling his mind, but very distinct. We were in a large area and he could detect it really, really well. So a great deal maker, in my opinion. A great fragrance, cooler weather, fantastic. This would be a great evening fragrance if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. This is a really good going out fragrance. 12 plus hours. Great presence, and that's what the Swedish woods smell like. I've never been, but that's Ibrahim has interpreted it for me. Et voilà, c'est fini. That's my 5 fragrances that I love when it comes to representing different parts of the world, cities, locations. I'd love to hear what are your favorites. So is there a particular fragrance, ideally by name? So rather than say, yes, I love Green Irish Tweed because I don't know, it reminds me of X. I would love if there's a fragrance with the actual name of the location, or it's meant to embody that location. I'd love if you put that in the comments. I want to find out, because I love that sort of stuff. I'm all in for fragrances that have an olfactory, capture an olfactory place. You know, I think that's very exciting. That's it for the review side of things. I will start in 2 seconds. I'm gonna stop this camera and reboot it again. And we're gonna talk about all things community, how you can win a free bottle of SORA DORA, how you could win this Aussie brand right here, but all that will come to you shortly. If you haven't subscribed, love you to subscribe. It's great support to us, and it's a great way to continue to help the channel out. Help us out. I'll see you in a sec. I'm back. All right, let me bring this baby home. First announcement was the SORA DORA giveaway, where you can win a full bottle of the white collection of your choice, delivered anywhere across the world. All you have to do is buy this discovery set, use the code NFC10, you'll get a 10% discount plus free delivery, anywhere in the world also, and participate or join me in the discovery series that I created for SORA DORA. Whether you watch the Discovery series or not, that part I can't sort of monitor, but you've bought the Discovery set, you may as well watch the series. What I will monitor is the purchasing of that Discovery set. So if you have purchased that, please send me whether through DM on Instagram here, or jump on Facebook, you can send me something there, or no, you need to do it those ways, because I need to get a validation on the actual purchase of that Discovery set. Once you've done that, we'll put your name in the drawer and you have a chance to win. Now, here are the names that have notified me so far. I do believe that there's more than this. So if you have, and you are listening to this right now, you cannot see your name there, it means you're not in the draw. So please send me that validation or that verification email that you would have received, so that I can put you into the draw so that you can have the chance to win, okay? If you would like to join, all you got to do is, I said, just buy it now, and we'll jump on and buy that, and then send me that confirmation, and I'll make sure to put you into the wheel. It will close next week, meaning that I think it's the 17th. Yeah, 17th will be the final day, because that's when I'll be filming Maté Talk. I will spin the wheel on the 17th, which will then be announced on the 19th. So you have another week ahead of you to send me the details, or 2 to actually jump on and participate. Boom. Good luck. And you can see the chances are high to win that free bottle. And it's a full bottle. It's, you know, not a decant. I'd like to invite you guys to become members of the channel, yes, or a subscriber. So either way, you can become a subscriber, which costs $0. Or you can become a member, which costs you $4. For Aussie dollars, it's like $2, $2.99 euro, and $2.50 or $3 US. Now, why would you want to do that? There's an Aussie brand called FLANER. They've launched a new fragrance called Oud Noir. And again, I think I mispronounced that again. Andrew, I'm going to sit with you. You're going to teach me how to say it properly, but I'm pretty confident it's Oud Noir. Boom. This is a 50 ml bottle that was gifted to myself. We actually got 2 bottles, one for me and one for Sandra. Sandra said in the kindness of her heart, she was happy for me to gift this out to anybody on the channel. Now that'll happen as of next week. So once this promo with SORA DORA ends, I will quickly reboot and start another promo. All you gotta do is subscribe. So I can tell from behind the scenes that you are a subscriber by seeing this little red dot. This tells me in the YouTube studios that you are a subscriber, or you can become a member, and that makes it super easy. Now, subscribers will get 1 wedge on the wheel, members will get double wedge, so you have more chances of winning. This is the bottle here. It's a 50 ml bottle. It's a unique collector's item in that it's a limited edition. It has this beautiful painted, so all the other Oud Noors that are coming out don't have this. This was only done for the night, so there was a launch party, and we were all able to select our bottle of choice. I will do a review on this to give you more of an idea of what the fragrance is about, but it's a gorgeous oud that is actually cultivated in northern Queensland. So this is a full embrace on the Aussiness. Again, I encourage you or invite you to subscribe or become a member, and you'll get a chance to participate in that and win a free bottle. Again, anywhere in the world, I'll mail it out to you guys. Boom, boom. Last thing. Last week I announced that save the date, Thursday, the 3rd of July. So the reason why I kept it a little bit vague is that I was going rogue, something that I love doing. And I wanted to validate it first with the company. They've said yes, they actually are quite excited by this idea. It's actually doing a discovery series or masterclass with NOAH. So they are the distributor here in Melbourne in particular of ETAT LIBRE d'Orange. It's not a brand that I am really across. I don't have any of their bottles. However, this is something that I need to rectify. It's a brand that I've had my eye on for quite some time. It was a brand that I didn't know that we had in Australia, if we did have it. I discovered it when I was in the NOAH showroom. Now, Liam is doing a masterclass on the 3rd of July. It is a ticketed event, so you do have to pay. It's $20. That will include some light refreshments, but also access to all the fragrances, and more importantly, the ability for Liam to share what these fragrances are about. What are these fragrances are about? Keep it nice and simple. I'm new to this brand. So what I'd like to do next week, I would love to do a bit of a deep dive and get some samples. So preempt my 3rd of July experience alongside Liam, and any of you that would like to join, all you got to do, you jump below, I'll put a link, jump on their website, you can book your spot. It is a limited seating, so meaning that limited seating. So once it's sold out, it's sold out. Next week, I will explore more the ETAT LIBRE. So if you put forward some suggestions of what I should be looking at, then I will get some small samples of that from the NOAH team. I'll experience those and be able to share that with you so that I am prepared for my 3rd of July experience alongside Dr. Liam. If you'd like to join us, please do. It would be awesome, one, to connect, and also it'd be great to be part of this and discover more of this beautiful brand. Boom, and we're done. Thanks, everyone. Love to hear all your comments. There was a lot of conversation today, a lot of perfumes. Another long Maté talk, I believe. And good luck for next week. Someone's going to win the white bottle anywhere across the world. All you got to do is just jump on in, get that, have a lot of fun. Make sure you're a subscriber. Boom, boom. Become a member. Double entry next week and a lot of fun. See you guys all on the next episode. That was a bit of a hyped finish.